in an interview, there are certain things which you should do and something you should avoid. So we'll learn about what needs to be done, what you should avoid. Let us start with the interview do's. First of all, you will be using your hands a lot. So your hands should be very attractive. That means your nails should be very trimmed and they should be, spotless, I must say. Then have a very good haircut. It should be quite conservative. And the scent you are using, because the intense cologne which you are using may make the other person uneasy. And if you want to use the restroom, use it before you enter the interview room. Try to get a very good night's sleep, because if you don't sleep properly, then next day you will have fatigue. So be alert and try to have a good sleep. Try to look the interviewer in the eye. Eye contact is a must. Do try to sparkle and try to use those gestures which is generally used in a conversation. It should be very smooth and emphatic. Try to smile. Smile is always welcome. Then, if you know the name of the interviewer, take the name right and use it as little as you want, means few times in the interview. And there are things, daily routine. Maybe you might have woken up, taken a cab, came to the interview. You might have encountered so many things. So you must be aware of what exactly you have seen, because this may be asked to you. And for that, you can make a wish also. You can make a note of what you have seen and the questions and answers which may be asked from you. And the pace of the interview is decided by the interviewer, not you. Let him decide it. And let him decide one more thing, that when the interview is over, don't show your body language that you are now fatigued, you want to go, you don't want to continue the interview. And let the interviewer to speak before you can offer any information. The most important part of an interview is what you shouldn't do. First of all, don't be late. Always be on time. If possible, you can go one prior day and see how do you reach, where is the office, etc. Don't wear your outer clothes in an interview. Try to be very sober. All official wearing you should do. Tie, nice shirt and leather shoes. And don't sit down until you are asked. This shows that you are taking permission before you can start any work. First thing and the last thing, don't put anything in your mouth like chewing gum, like some, mint. Don't do anything. Don't lean or put your elbows on the interviewer desk. Sit back, sit erect, and so that the interviewer can see you properly. Don't wear tinted glasses. The glasses should be sober. It should not be colorful and some flashy color. If you have a bag, if you happen to take a bag, it should not be oversized. Just take that bag whose size is smaller and manageable and put it somewhere else. Don't put it on the interviewer's table. Then again, the fingernails, they are very important. Don't show nervousness, because you may be rubbing your hand, fingers, swinging your leg, cracking your knuckles like this. Don't do this. This portrays, this interprets that you are getting nervous. Don't keep adjusting your clothes. Always sit firmly and just eye contact and talk. Don't fiddle with your hair. This is a general, I must say, an idea which is being seen when many people, they have a tendency to fiddle with their hair. Don't compare the recruiter office with the other office you have seen. You're not here to judge their office. You are here to make them judge you for the employment. then don't pick anything from the recruiter desk, anything at all. Don't listen to any phone call the recruiter may receive while you are with him or her. And if you have any phone, by chance you have left it in the ringing mode, you can say, excuse me. If it is very urgent call, you can excuse and take it. Otherwise, the best idea is not to keep this cell in your pocket at the time of interview. Don't stand if someone else enters the recruiter office. Keep your chair and don't say anything to the visitor unless you are spoken to first. If the recruiter introduces you to the person who came in, then you may stand. Don't inspect or read documents. Again, don't touch anything. Just sit and be prepared for the interview. Don't call the recruiter sir and madam always, again and again, because respect is there. Respect is mandatory, but overuse of these words get the other person overboard. Don't overuse the interviewer's name. Just 1 or 2 times you can use. You may be comic, you may have very good sense of humor, but this is not the place to show your humor. This is the place for you to earn bread. You are getting livelihood if you get the job. Don't give 1 or 2 word answer. Yes, I live. If you are being asked, where do you live? You say I live in New York, at the suburbs. You can say you can't just answer New York. That is not acceptable. Don't dominate the conversation. Don't, even if the interviewer wants you to, don't interrupt. Don't interrupt at all. Don't use profanity, bad language, bad words. Even if the recruiter is doing so, it can't possibly help your image. No slang use of word, only proper words with proper meanings, and those words which are acceptable in normal formal conversation should be used. Don't gush. You can be syrupy, but more syrupy will not be pleasant. Don't say all the times. I know, okay, I wish. Don't do that. Is quite annoying. Don't call the interviewer anytime by his or her first name unless invited to do so. You can use the second name, but very few times. And don't slip into speech making. You may be very good orator. Don't preach. Okay, it's not a Senate floor. You're just having a conversation for your job. Don't mumble. If you're mumbling, then the other person may get annoyed. Don't chatter. While the interviewer is reviewing your resume, don't chatter. Let him or her read it in peace. Don't interpret items as your resume until you are asked, because your resume is always self-explanatory. If at all the additional details are being asked, the interviewer is by far going to ask you. Don't try to overpower, as I just said. Don't overpower. Don't put your words in his mouth. Try to be patient. Everything will come into your way. Don't lie. If you lie, you have to remember. If you don't lie, you don't have to remember. And don't criticize anybody, neither your earlier bosses nor your earlier employer, because if you are doing so, that means you are going to criticize this company also. Then don't get angry, irritated. This is what you have to control. Don't look at your watch during the interview. This is highly objectionable. This tends to hurry things along. Let the interview be in peace. Don't ask, will I get the job or can I have the job? These are the questions which are very offending. You can, manipulate these questions or reframe these questions like, I hope you can consider me as a candidate for this job, or I'm really interested in this job. Don't talk about the salary if you're a beginner or you have 2-3 years of experience. If you have come from a job, highly paid job, you're going to get a new job, then you can talk about salary. So this is all about what you should do, you shouldn't do in your interview. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.